everyone, and welcome back for another deep dive.
Excited to be here.
Today, we're diving into the world of Draco Malfoy,
Ooh, interesting.
that platinum-haired Slytherin we all love to analyze.
Love to hate him, right?
Yeah, exactly. You know him as Harry Potter's nemesis.
Of course.
But our mission today is to go beyond the surface, beyond that bully label, and really uncover what makes Draco tick.
I love that.
We've got some excerpts from a really insightful character analysis.
That is good.
And I can't wait to dig into it.
I am ready when you are.
Okay. Well, right off the bat, the analysis takes us to his upbringing.
Yeah, okay.
And, we're talking pure blood aristocracy, wealth beyond measure, parents who are deeply entrenched in the dark side of the wizarding world.
Of course.
I mean, really just sets the stage.
Yeah, it does.
For a very particular kind of character.
Totally. And the analysis points out that this upbringing, basically steeped in prejudice and a thirst for power, fundamentally shaped Draco's worldview.
Absolutely.
Like, if that's all you know, it's going to be hard to see things any other way.
It's like Lucius Malfoy built a world where pure blood meant everything.
Right.
And anyone who didn't fit that mold was instantly inferior.
Absolutely.
It's no wonder Draco turned out the way he did.
It's true.
Yeah.
Though, it does make you wonder.
What's that?
If he ever questioned any of it, like deep down.
Oh, absolutely. And the analysis actually touches on that.
Really?
Yeah, it talks about how all that arrogance we see.
Right. The constant bragging and putting others down.
Exactly. Might actually be a facade. A way to cover up some deep-seated insecurity.
Oh, I could see that.
Like he's constantly striving for his father's approval, trying to prove his worth.
Trying to live up to those expectations.
In this family where power and status are everything.
It's a lot of pressure for a kid.
It really is. And this need for validation, it's everywhere.
Oh, totally.
Like, think about his rivalry with Harry.
Ugh, don't even get me started.
Those Potter stinks badges.
Oh, my gosh.
All that animosity. The analysis suggests it wasn't just about putting Harry down.
No.
It was about trying to grab attention, assert dominance.
To prove his loyalty to the pureblood cause.
Exactly.
Like he was playing to an audience.
Exactly. Like Lucius was always watching.
And judging.
Yeah. And it's interesting because later on in Order of the Phoenix, when Draco gets a taste of power.
Oh, yeah, as a member of Umbridge's Inquisitorial Squad.
Exactly. He's like a kid in a candy store.
Right. He took that role way too seriously.
He did. But it was his chance, to step into the spotlight. Embody that power and influence that his father had always demanded.
It's like it all went to his head.
It really did. And it's almost like this experience backfires.
How so?
Because true power, as we see throughout the books, comes from respect and loyalty.
Yeah.
Not from fear and intimidation.
Which is all Draco really had.
It's true. He was trying so hard to be like Lucius.
Right.
But he didn't have that same charisma or the ability to inspire genuine loyalty.
He just ended up looking pathetic.
It's like he was wearing a mask that kept slipping.
It highlights that difference between inherited power and earned respect.
Totally. And speaking of power, the analysis dives into Draco's key traits. And it goes beyond the arrogant bully stereotype.
Interesting. So, what else is there?
Well, it talks about his pride, his fear, and these moments where he genuinely struggles with who he is.
So there's more to him than meets the eye.
Exactly. It's like he's not all bad.
Right.
Just, really messed up by his upbringing. Like, in Chamber of Secrets when Harry uses Polyjuice Potion to disguise himself as a Slytherin. And he overhears Draco admitting how scared he is.
Oh, wow.
Of Voldemort's return.
I'd forgotten about that.
Yeah, it's a small moment. But it shows this vulnerability that we don't often see from him.
Yeah, that's true. You rarely see him let his guard down like that.
It's a good reminder that beneath all that bravado, he's still a young man.
Right.
Facing extraordinary circumstances.
Totally.
Grappling with fear and uncertainty just like anyone else.
It makes you see him in a whole new light.
I know. And the source argues that these glimpses of vulnerability make Draco a much more compelling character.
Absolutely.
He's not just a one-dimensional villain.
Right.
He's a complex individual, shaped by this toxic environment, struggling to find his place.
In a world that's changing all around him.
Exactly.
Makes you wonder if things could have been different for him.
Oh, for sure.
Like if he had different influences.
Yeah, if he hadn't been raised with all that pure blood mania.
It's a nature versus nurture debate, right?
Totally. And speaking of things being different.
Yeah.
Things take a dark turn for Draco in Half-Blood Prince.
Oh, yeah, when Voldemort tasks him with killing Dumbledore.
Exactly.
That was heavy.
It really was.
What does the analysis say about that?
Well, it highlights the immense pressure and fear that he's under.
Makes sense.
He isolates himself. He becomes increasingly desperate and tries all these elaborate schemes to fulfill Voldemort's orders.
But nothing works.
It's like he's trapped in a nightmare.
Totally.
Desperately trying to please a master who's impossible to please.
And pushing everyone away in the process.
The analysis describes this whole period as incredibly isolating for him.
Oh, I bet. I mean, he was only, what, like 16?
Yeah, something like that.
Right.
And, then there's the climax.
Okay.
That confrontation with Dumbledore.
In the astronomy tower.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
He has his wand raised. He has the chance to do what Voldemort demands.
Yeah.
He can't bring himself to kill.
Oh, man, that scene was intense.
It really was. You can just see the inner turmoil in his face.
The conflict.
Yeah, between his fear of Voldemort and his own moral compass.
Like a part of him knows it's wrong.
Yeah. And the source argues that this is a major turning point for Draco.
Interesting.
It's the moment he realizes he's not a killer. That he's not capable of this cold-blooded act that Voldemort demands of him.
It's a crack in that carefully constructed facade.
Exactly. A glimpse of the person he might be capable of becoming.
It makes you wonder what happens next.
Well, we'll have to wait for part 2 to find out.
I can't wait.
Okay, so we left off talking about Draco's inability to kill Dumbledore.
Right, that huge moment of hesitation.
And in Deathly Hallows, all that inner turmoil only intensifies.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
As the war escalates, stakes get higher.
Right.
And he's really grappling with these loyalties.
Yeah, he's caught between a rock and a hard place.
Totally caught between his family's allegiance to Voldemort and his own growing doubts.
Yeah, it's like his world is falling apart.
And the source material really digs into how his relationships, especially with his parents, play a crucial role in all of this.
Makes sense. I mean, family's everything, right?
Yeah, it's like he's constantly being pulled in these two different directions.
And they're both pretty terrible directions, to be honest.
I know.
I mean, on the one hand, you have Lucius.
Yeah.
Embodiment of pure blood elitism.
Right.
And don't forget, he was imprisoned in Azkaban.
After Order of the Phoenix.
Yeah, and that experience hardened him even further.
Oh, for sure.
He comes back.
Yeah.
Even more hardcore.
Yeah.
Back in Voldemort's inner circle. Pushing Draco to prove his loyalty.
Right, to embrace the darkness.
Yeah.
And you get the sense that Lucius sees Draco's failure to kill Dumbledore.
Right.
As like a weakness.
A betrayal of the family legacy.
Almost like he's ashamed of him.
Makes me think about what Bellatrix was like with her family.
Oh, totally. But then you have Narcissa. Okay.
Who represents this very different kind of love.
Yeah, she's all about protecting Draco.
No matter what.
No matter what.
The analysis highlights how her love for him transcends her own beliefs.
Yeah.
Even her own fear of Voldemort.
Like when she lies to Voldemort about Harry being dead.
Oh my gosh, yes.
She's risking everything to protect her son.
To save him.
Even defying the Dark Lord himself.
That takes guts.
Serious guts.
And the analysis suggests that this act of defiance, of choosing love over ideology, has a profound impact on Draco. Like, it makes him question everything.
Makes him question everything.
He's been taught.
Totally.
Right. Like, he's seeing his mother.
This staunch, pure-blood supremacist.
Yeah.
Choosing love over loyalty to Voldemort.
And it just throws everything into question?
Absolutely. It's a huge crack in that pure-blood facade.
And then there's Snape.
Oh, gosh, Snape.
You know, this incredibly guarded, morally ambiguous character.
Yeah, the worst. Who's tasked with protecting Draco.
Right.
While secretly working against Voldemort.
Such a double agent.
The source points out that he becomes this sort of reluctant mentor to Draco.
Oh, interesting.
Guiding him through this dangerous mission.
Yeah.
But also manipulating events to undermine Voldemort.
Classic Snape.
It's like he's playing this dangerous game.
Yeah, he's walking a tightrope.
For sure.
Trying to protect Draco without blowing his cover.
And the source argues that this further blurs the lines between good and evil, making it even harder for Draco to figure out where he stands.
I mean, who can he trust?
Right. Like, who's actually on his side?
It's a recipe for serious inner turmoil.
Totally. And then, of course, there's his rivalry with Harry.
Yes, the constant battle.
All that animosity.
Competition.
Yeah, but also these weird moments of connection.
Yeah. It's complicated.
It really is.
What does the analysis say about it?
Well, it explores how that rivalry...
Which, starts out as this kind of childish competition for attention and status.
Right, who's the better wizard?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Evolves into something much more complex.
Okay.
As they both face the realities of war.
Yeah.
And the consequences of their choices.
They grow up a lot.
They really do.
They have to.
Yeah, like in the beginning, it's all about proving who's the best, who's more worthy of admiration.
I think it's all ego.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden...
They're fighting for their lives.
Literally fighting for survival.
And it changes everything.
And even in the midst of all that conflict, there are these glimpses of understanding.
Like they see each other as human beings.
Yeah, not just enemies.
It's like they get a glimpse of what could have been.
Right, if things had been different.
If they hadn't been sorted into rival houses.
Exactly. And then there's that moment in Deathly Hallows during the Battle of Hogwarts when Harry saves Draco's life.
Oh, wow.
Talk about a turning point. Yeah, that's huge.
The analysis really digs into that.
Okay, what does it say?
It argues that Harry's act of selflessness.
Right, choosing mercy over revenge.
Yeah.
That speaks volumes.
About his character.
And the impact it has on Draco.
I mean, it's got to make him question everything.
Like, why would Harry save him?
Right. After everything he's done, the source argues that it challenges Draco's deeply ingrained prejudices and shows him that Harry is capable of incredible kindness and compassion.
Right, and it forces him to rethink everything he's ever been taught.
I mean, it's like a bomb went off.
In his carefully constructed world.
Totally.
Blowing all of his assumptions to smithereens.
And it kind of makes you wonder...
What's that?
If Harry had extended that compassion earlier on, could things have been different?
With Draco.
Yeah, could their rivalry have evolved into something more positive?
That's a good question.
It really is.
What do you think?
I don't know. It's tough to say.
Yeah, but it makes you think about the power of choice.
Sure.
Like even small acts of kindness can have this ripple effect.
Absolutely.
And, the analysis doesn't try to sugarcoat things.
Right.
Like this isn't a complete redemption arc.
Yeah.
He still makes mistakes.
Yeah.
He still struggles with his prejudices.
For sure.
He doesn't suddenly become this heroic figure.
Right. He doesn't join the Order of the Phoenix or anything.
No, but the analysis argues that there's this subtle shift in his behavior. This gradual distancing from the darkness.
Like he's trying to find a better path.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's not easy.
It's never easy to break free from the past.
Especially when your past is like the Malfoys.
Totally. And that's what makes his character so compelling.
Yeah, he's not easily categorized as good or evil.
Right. He's complex.
Flawed.
Trying to figure things out.
Just like the rest of us.
And speaking of figuring things out. What about the whole redemption question?
Yeah, can he actually atone for his past mistakes?
Can he break free from that family legacy?
And forge his own path?
Ooh, that's a good one.
It's a question we'll explore in the final part of our deep dive.
Can't wait.
So we've talked about Draco's upbringing, his struggles, his relationships.
Yeah, whole lot of baggage there.
And now the big question.
The redemption question.
Can he actually atone for all the things he's done?
Can he really change?
Well, the source makes a point of saying
Okay.
that his story isn't this, like, picture-perfect redemption arc.
No, he doesn't have some big heroic moment.
He doesn't suddenly switch sides and fight alongside Harry.
Right.
But it does argue that his story still grapples with this idea of redemption.
Okay, so
it's just in a much more subtle, realistic way.
Like how?
Well, the analysis points out that true redemption, it's not about just erasing the past or magically becoming a saint overnight.
You can't just pretend it never happened.
It's about recognizing the harm you've caused.
Taking responsibility.
And actively trying to make things right.
So where does Draco fit into all of this?
It's a good question.
Yeah.
So let's think about the ending of Deathly Hallows.
Okay.
He doesn't join the fight against Voldemort.
No, he doesn't grab a sword and charge into battle.
But he also doesn't fight for him either.
Right, he and his family just kind of disappear.
They slip away from the final battle.
Almost like they're trying to fade into the background.
What do you make of that choice?
Well, I think it's significant that he doesn't actively choose the side of darkness.
Yeah, he's not standing with the Death Eaters.
It's not this grand, heroic gesture or anything.
But it is a quiet rejection of everything he was raised to believe in.
So he's choosing self-preservation.
Yeah, but he's also distancing himself from Voldemort.
From that whole ideology.
Exactly.
The analysis actually uses this term.
Okay, what's that?
Passive rebellion.
Okay, interesting.
Like he's not actively fighting back.
But he's not blindly following his father anymore either.
It's a subtle but important distinction.
And it really builds on those earlier moments we talked about.
Like when he couldn't kill Dumbledore.
Yeah, he's wrestling with his conscience.
Trying to figure out what's right.
Even when it goes against everything he's been taught.
And you know that line from Dumbledore?
Which one?
It matters not what someone is born, but what they grow to be.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
It's so relevant to Draco's story.
Because it's not about this sudden transformation.
Right.
It's about taking these tiny steps away from the darkness.
Making choices that show he's capable of more
than what his upbringing dictated.
It's about growth.
And don't forget about that moment.
Okay, which one?
When Harry saves Draco's life during the battle.
Oh, yeah, that was powerful.
The source suggests that act of mercy could be a catalyst for real change down the line.
I like that.
It's like a wake-up call.
Yeah, it forces Draco to see Harry,
the person he's supposed to hate,
yeah,
as someone capable of incredible compassion.
It shatters his whole worldview.
It really does.
And it makes you wonder if someone like Harry could show Draco mercy.
After all that.
What does that say about the possibility of forgiveness?
Second chances.
It's powerful stuff.
It really makes you think about those rigid categories of good and evil.
Like maybe it's not so black and white.
And it leaves us wondering what kind of person Draco might become.
Yeah, like what happens after the books end?
The source doesn't really give us a clear answer.
But I think that ambiguity is part of what makes his character so fascinating.
It really is.
Like we get to imagine our own ending.
And it doesn't try to tie everything up in a neat little bow.
Right.
Instead, it leaves us with this big question.
Okay, what's the question?
How might Draco use his privilege, his wealth,
his influence,
to make amends for the harm he's caused?
Oh, that's a good one.
Could he become an advocate for change?
Okay.
Speaking out against the very prejudices once embraced.
That would be something.
It really would.
Like, imagine Draco Malfoy.
Yeah.
Using his platform to dismantle the systems that benefited him.
It wouldn't erase his past.
Right, yeah.
But it would be a powerful statement.
A testament to the idea that change is possible.
And maybe that's the ultimate takeaway from Draco's story.
What's that?
Redemption isn't about being perfect. It's about trying to be better.
Using your experiences,
even the painful ones,
to create a more just and compassionate world.
And it reminds us that people are complex.
Yeah.
Capable of both great harm and great good.
And it challenges us to look beyond those easy labels.
You see the potential for growth and change.
In everyone.
Even those who've made terrible mistakes.
Well said.
So as we wrap up our deep dive into Draco Malfoy, we leave you with this.
I'm listening.
What does redemption mean to you?
Oh, that's deep.
And how can we, in our own lives, embrace the possibility of second chances?
For ourselves and others.
It's something to think about.
It really is. Thanks for joining us in this deep dive.
Until next time, keep questioning.
Keep exploring.
And keep those wands at the ready.